My name is Bazi, you're watching Tech Turtles, and this is Vlogmas Day 2. Let's get into it. Alright, today's video is on group buys. I told you in yesterday's video that I will have an upcoming video about group buys because I'm sure a lot of people have a bunch of questions on group buys specifically pertaining to keyboards in the keyboard community, because it's an awesome community. A lot of people should be involved in it, and the more people that are involved, the better products we actually get, because they have more artists and everybody are trying to create. So let's go ahead and get into it, because group buys are actually kind of simple, but also can be complex depending on what you're trying to get. Okay, so let's just get into what a group buy actually is. A group buy essentially is kind of like a pre-order. What that means is you will pay money to a person who will then manufacture the process, do the manufacturing process after the money is actually paid and everybody's bought into the product. And what this ends up doing is a couple things. You end up getting a better product. You end up getting a product on a smaller scale, usually sub 1,000 kits, sub 500 kits of the product, and it gets an artist or a person to be able to achieve their goal with their idea on a smaller scale. Instead of having to put up hundreds of thousands of dollars up front, you can put up, you can have people put up the money for you and essentially have your product come to life. And it's actually essentially just like a pre-order for the consumer wise. And what's happening for the consumer, like if I was going to go pre-order something, if I was going to go buy something, it'd be through a group buy. Essentially, so for example, if I was going to go and purchase something through a group buy, I would pay now, and then I will receive the product when it's manufactured and sent out to us. Now, group buys can run anywhere from 10 days, 2 days, 3 days, to 30 days, to 60 days. There's not really a limit on how long they have to last. And the group buy period is actually the time in which it goes live for you to be able to purchase the product. And then when the group buy ends, then it goes into the manufacturing process, in which they get the kits manufactured, everything's handled to make sure the kits are in good standing, and then they're shipped out to you. Now that I've joined like 20 group buys, let's talk about some of the things that go along with group buys. So right now, everything in the world seems to be delayed, but group buys especially, they deter a lot of consumers because of the way in which they're handled. And that means you give your money to somebody up front, and then months later you receive a product. So I paid in July for the Explosion keycaps, and they will not ship to me. They actually just got pushed back from February to about June or July next year. And that's a long time to wait for a product, especially since people are excited about these things. So it's an interesting way it's going about. I think that's more of just the time that we're in. Usually it's about a 4 to 6 month turnaround on keycaps, depending on the set. And for keyboards, it's a couple of months, 3 to 6 months, depending. There's a whole nother caveat to this, which is artisan keycaps. And those are individual keycaps. Usually you can buy them in packs, but usually it's just one keycap, and they go for about $50, and they go into group buys as well. So the reason group buys are actually popular is because people get to buy what they want, right? And a lot of stuff like keycaps, for example, like a keycap set, when it goes into group buy, right? If they only need to make 300 keycap sets, they're gonna make probably a little bit more just to have, but they'll make as much as they need. And this helps limit the product that's out there, but it also helps solidify the secondary market, which is kind of cool. Now we'll see how that handles, because I was a huge sneakerhead before, still am, but the sneaker market's crazy, pop market is crazy, Pokemon cards are crazy. So we'll see how keyboards actually handle that and what they're going to do moving forward. I do know that a lot of key companies are trying to solidify the market and make sure that they have keycaps on hand, and if a group buy is popular, then they'll do a second round of whatever key set. So now that we talked about that, let's talk about something that also goes hand in hand with group buys, and that is called an interest check. So usually keycaps, keyboards, a lot of stuff in the keyboard community starts as an interest check. And what an interest check is literally as it sounds. It is checking interest into the product. usually there's a form, most likely a Google Doc form that you fill out saying, hey, this is what I like about the product. This is what I would change. Would you maybe want to include this type of key, or a shorter space bar, or this size space bar, or whatever? And am I willing to buy it? Yes or no? Like, yes, I'm willing to buy it. For how much are you willing to buy it? These are some of the questions you can look forward to in an interest check form. I love interest checks because it lets me know what's coming forward, what's coming out, next, and what's going to be coming out in the near future, or even further than that. I like to, there's a site you can go to, geekhack.org. I'll leave the link in the description below. It has all information you need about keyboards and keycaps and what's going on in the community. A lot of people use it. It's a great tool to keep up to date on keyboards, and a lot of people post their interest checks there, or to Reddit, the mechanical keyboard subreddit there, to talk about their new idea that they're trying to bring to life. It's really cool. The community is very engaging, and it's because of the group buy structure that I think, honestly, the community is so engaging. The first time I had the first group buy I ever joined was through Drop, or what was called Mass Drop at the time. And, it was kind of weird at first. Like, I'm not gonna lie, you pay for something and then you wait 6 months for it to ship to you, for it to be manufactured and sent out. It's a weird process, but I think that's kind of what makes the community of keyboards so great, is because artists are working, because they're fans of their key sets, they're fans of the hobby, to get these products out to you, and then they get to engage with the community on whether or not their product is has a certain key set, or has a certain color, or what they should change, and the community kind of comes together if they get behind the product, and they all just simply are like, yeah, we like it, let's do this, move forward, I'll put money into this, and we'll put money into your idea, which is something that's crazy to think about, how simple it is, but also how profound it is for you to hand a company money and be like, hey, or an artist, and be like, hey, I really like this idea, and I'm gonna back it, and it's phenomenal. A lot of group buys are handled through legit companies like Novel Keys, Canon Keys, etc. There's a bunch of mechanical keyboard shops out there that actually handle these things. So a lot of times a group buy will be through them, or be through their own website. If it's a keyboard, I've seen a lot of keyboard manufacturers or artists go through their own website. However, keycaps tend to fall under the big names in the mechanical keyboard world for shopping. Group buys are very interesting, and they can be complex. You can see a group buy on Geekhack. You can see a group buy, and it would disappear after 2 months because it fell off, or didn't get enough interest, or what have you. There's a set that we're following now, and it's been March the last time he did an update, and people are still commenting like, hey, I love this set, where's it at, where's the artist, like, we want to get in touch, we want this set to happen. It's very cool to see a community come together and just want to see the final product and back these artists, because it's crazy out there for artists now, and it's just very telling of how deep and how connected the keyboard community is. And that's why I love being a part of the keyboard community. It's just such a cool feeling, first of all, to build. I like building keyboards, I'm a tinkerer, but it's just cool to see artists like get the validation of like, hey, I made this key set, let's get this done. It's very cool. So that is essentially what a group buy is. That's all you need to know about group buys. Essentially, it's just a pre-order, but unlike a pre-order, it goes into manufacturing after you buy, and it could take anywhere from 6 months to a year on the long end, short end 3 months to 6 months, depending on what you order. And that's just for today's world, not the world moving forward, hopefully, if everything changes. So yeah, be aware of what you're doing, be aware of what you're buying into, do your research, watch this video, comment, like on it, let me know what's going on, let me know if you have any questions about group buys, let me know. Like, the keyboard community is open, we like to help out and just be cool about it. So it is what it is. Keyboards are awesome. Interest checks are cool. I would recommend just starting to look at interest checks, because that's where I started for a lot of my group buys, were just interest checks. Like, hey, this is a cool key set. This is cool. Like, this is a cool keyboard. This is a cool macro pad. This is a cool artisan. And that's where it started, and then it like became a hobby for me. And I was like, man, like I want to build this keyboard and get these switches, and it's a very cool hobby. And group buys are, people want group buys to go away. I like group buys because you get to like work one-on-one with the artist. Almost, not really. It's more like a community community sits down with the artist and is like, hey, we really like this, or we really don't like this, or could you change it this way, or could you do this? And it's very cool to see. And it's very telling of how, how the keyboard community can gather as a whole and get something accomplished. And that goes for keycaps, keyboards, artisan keycaps, what have you. A lot of the first phase of it, of, hey, these are the colors I'm looking at, and this are the renders that I have, and people, commenting like, hey, I'm totally in. I'll buy this, and just make sure you have this kind of set so I can, I'll build my next build. And a lot of times they're like, yeah, man, we already planned on that, we'll get it done. Or they're like, yeah, like I agree, like this color is too dark, or this color is too light, or whatever. It's very cool to see. Group buys, I think, are great for the community. I don't think they're ever going to go away in the keyboard community, or for, like, there's a whole website now, drop.com, that does it, which is what it was, Mass Drop. They've been doing it, but now it's drop.com. They have a lot of keyboard stuff, and I think group buys are awesome. I think in-stock stuff is gonna take off as well. I think consumers are more lenient towards in-stock stuff. I know for the most part I am, but going through group buys has made me patient. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's made me like, hey, I'll wait 8 months for that keycap set, I don't care. Before it's like, I need it now because Amazon and 2-day shipping. But now it's like, hey, I really like this keyboard, I really like this key set. I'm gonna support the artist that made it, and I'm gonna hop on because it's amazing and I just like it, or I like the character, or whatever the theme is, or the colors, or whatever. It's very cool. I recommend checking it out, and I'll have a bunch of information down in the description so you guys can check out different websites and everything that you want to check out. If you have any questions, go ahead and hit up our social media. It's at Tech Turtles for pretty much everything, and it'll flash that in the video. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because it really helps us out, especially since we're trying to grow our channel and become legit YouTubers, or do the YouTube thing because it's cool. All right, you guys have a good day, have a good holiday, and I'll see you guys for Vlogmas Day 3.